YouTube, Mark here with another fragrance review. This time let's delve into the designer house of Givenchy. This little red guy right here is called Xeryus Rouge. You may know him, you may not. If this is an introduction to Xeryus Rouge, hold on to your chair. Now first and foremost, the name, Xeryus. Givenchy has two male fragrances named after this name. There's the original Xeryus and then there's this guy, Xeryus Rouge. Really wanted to know what Xeryus meant. Weird. In fragrance boards, when I was looking around to find what Xeryus meant, basically all I could find was it was named after a Greek god. I wasn't happy with that. Being myself, being the researcher and the reviewer that I am, I had to know more. Xeryus is actually known as Nereus. Close enough, it was a Greek titan. I did not find any real idea why it was named this, both Xeryus and Xeryus Rouge, but I actually have kind of an inkling why. Just researching about Nereus or Xeryus, I really just felt like Givenchy was looking into getting a bold, strong fragrance, you know, just like a Greek god or a Greek titan. And this thing is definitely bold and strong. It actually kind of needs a man that is bold, strong, self-confident to wear this fragrance. So I really actually think that this was named aptly. Now, rouge means, the other part of the name rouge is actually means red in French. That's it. Looking at colors in fragrances, I like to do that from time to time. You know, blue fragrances, green, yellow, and red. Most red fragrances that I've smelt or encountered are either spicy or sweet. When I think red and I'm thinking spice, I'm thinking like a red hot pepper. And of course in sweet, I'm kind of thinking of like a strawberry or raspberry. Most red fragrances are kind of spicy and sweet, or both, and the sweet fragrances are kind of weird like. I really feel like most red, like Habit Rouge, this guy, Hot Water also is kind of red, kind of gives me that kind of spicy, sweet feeling. Now again, there is a Xeryus and a Xeryus Rouge. I just wanted to let you guys know that Rouge is not a flanker to the original Xeryus. So it's a totally different juice from the original. So let's get to the review. Let's take a look at bottle presentation. Alright guys, time to tackle presentation for Xeryus Rouge by Givenchy. We're going to take a look at the box and the bottle here. First and foremost, I just want to let you guys know this fragrance right here, Xeryus Rouge, since it's first started in the shelves in 1995, it has seen a few changes in its presentation. Some also talk about reformulation for the juice itself. Just to let you know, I believe there was 3 bottles introduced for Xeryus Rouge during its life. This is actually the current juice that you would find actually in store if you wanted to purchase it. So this is actually fresh juice, the newest presentation. So let's take a look at it. The box, very simple and plain. Xeryus Rouge. There's the Givenchy logo right here. There's the Givenchy logo up top. As you can see, it's kind of embossed here. Some information from Givenchy in the back, batch code, and that's about it. Very simple and plain. Bottle. This is the current red bottle with the sticker, Xeryus Rouge Givenchy. You got a little lip, black lip right here. Very cheap plastic cap, and your standard. This is actually a standard sprayer. And it fits very, very well. You got your batch code with a kind of like a sticker here. Very plain. Let's take a look at it. As far as the sprayer goes, very standard. Sprays actually quite well. Alright guys, let's tackle bottle size for Xeryus Rouge. It comes in the standards, 1.7, 3.4 ounce bottles. This is the big boy right here. Pricing, you're looking at around $40 to $70 retail, American, give or take, to purchase this fragrance. Again, Givenchy fragrances are available across the world at a lot of retailers, and this fragrance has been around the block. It's one of the older Givenchy fragrances for men, so again, it'll be available a lot of places. Check out your favorite discounter to see if this one's available. I'm sure you can get it at a discounted rate. Now, Xeryus Rouge hit the shelves back in 1995, so it actually stood the test of time. Awards, hasn't been in any of my top 20 lists, not as of yet. Group, this is an oriental spicy fragrance. Parfumier. This is the main reason why I purchased Xeryus Rouge. Sometimes I just go into Parfumier's lineup and see what they have done and check out a bottle that I don't own and purchase it blindly. The Parfumier's master Parfumier, if I had a top 10 Parfumier list, she would probably be on it. Her name, Annick Monardo. You might know her from Bulgari Black, Lolita Olympico Masculin. So she's a master perfumier. I really enjoy her stuff and I really wanted to check this fragrance out. So she was the main reason for this purchase. Recommended age, this one kind of played tricks on me. I was like, this is for the older crowd. No, it's actually for, 30 and under. And I just felt like this is probably more for a 20-year-old, a mature 20-year-old, right up to a 50-year-old. I could see an older gentleman rocking this perfectly. It's sweet enough for the younger crowd, but has enough spice and woods to woo the older crowd. So this could be a signature scent for you for a few years, especially if you're starting out wearing this in your mid-20s. Definitely not that type of sweet fragrance that a lot of the high schoolers would love. Trust me. Things like Diesel Fuel for Life, 1 Million, Black Excess, stuff like that. This is not that type of fragrance, just to let you guys know, and that's why I kind of excluded you in the recommended age. Now, how many sprays and where? Again, this one was kind of tricky. I go 1 to 2 sprays with this fragrance, one on the chest, one on the back of the neck, and I'm set, or just the one on the back of the neck and I'm good to go. This is why I test fragrances, and this is why sometimes I embarrass myself wearing too many sprays. This one was beastly at some times. It was kind of like a chameleon. Sometimes it wasn't enough, sometimes it was way too much. So I go safe now. 1 spray on the back of the neck, or 1 on the chest and 1 back of the neck, and I'm set to go with Xeryus Rouge. Let's tackle the notes. The note breakdown, kind of interesting to be honest with you. Let's take a look at the top notes. We got kumquat, cactus flesh, and tarragon. Definitely kumquat and cactus flesh is opening up my eyes. Oh, this is different. In the mid, we got cedar leaf, red pepper, and African geranium. And in the base, we got sandalwood and cedarwood. So let's sniff this fragrance out and let's see what Xeryus Rouge smells like. Alright guys, time to sniff out Xeryus Rouge from Givenchy. I'm going to let you guys know what this fragrance smells like from top to bottom, let you guys know what the notes do, and how well it meshed together. Now let's smell out this fragrance. Now this fragrance is very sweet and spicy. And man, just smelling this introduction brings me back to my testing phase of Xeryus Rouge, when I just wore just a little too much one day, and people were giving me those eyes like, dude. That is just this. It's funny how that reminds me of that. Okay, so when you first sniff this fragrance, let's say that you're going to a department store and sniffing Xeryus Rouge out, the first thing that comes to mind would have to be the sweetness. The sweetness in this fragrance is like a fruity, citrus-like combo. It's much sweeter than the original Xeryus, of course. I would say, I'll go far enough to say, if you don't like sweet fragrances, overlook this fragrance. Not that it's just sweetness in this fragrance, but it's bold and it's out there. So it might get cloying to you. So if you don't like sweet fragrances, just look elsewhere for a fragrance. This one's not for you. Now, after it dries down for a good 10 to 15 minutes, you get a little more of this fragrance. Now, first and foremost, let's tackle that fresh and sweet look to this fragrance. I didn't really feel like the fresh and sweet part of this fragrance wasn't really playful or candied in a way, not, childish. Sometimes in some fragrances it's just like love and luck. It's just like a playful introduction. This one started out with like a melon, cucumber-like, watery-like feel. Some say cactus flesh smells like cucumber. That would explain it. For me, I don't know what cactus flesh smells like, honestly. There's some citrus in this fragrance. I really felt the mandarin in here with some fruit. Now this is all met with a spicy, dry herbal note. Now the tarragon in this introduction. Now tarragon kind of gives out in some fragrances a licorice-like smell. And some people might smell that. I smell it. And when I smelled that licorice-like smell, it just brought me back to another Annick Monardo fragrance, of course, called Lolita Olympica au Masculin, which of course had an anise or a licorice-like note in it. So it kind of reminded me of Monardo's other creations. And it's funny to see that when you look at a perfumier's resume, you're like, oh, she took this from this fragrance and kind of put it in the other one. It's really great to see that. So it kind of gave me a licorice-like smell in this introduction. Now I felt some woods off the bat to give it a little bit of a backbone, but not too much. The woods in here wasn't the sandalwood, it was more the cedarwood than anything. Now this introduction is fruity, it's sweet, but also warming with some spice, a red pepper coming up, which kind of put that sweetness to bay. So it was really a good mesh of notes in this top note. Now let's delve into the heart of this fragrance. Once this hits the mid, the pimento, that red pepper, that chili pepper, really just took off. It gives this fragrance some heat. It takes center stage, and it just reminded me, it brought me back to another red fragrance. You know which one? This hasn't been compared to this fragrance at all, but I'm going to put it out there. Hot Water by Davidoff kind of has that same genre. And this pimento note is the major player in this fragrance. It's met with the geranium. Now geranium gives in some fragrances a green yet peppery hit, and I actually really felt this in this fragrance. The geranium did do that. Kind of gave me like a peppery, spice-like note. Now the fruit citrus almost goes away, but then comes back in the mid. It kind of played games with me. It kind of played like a game of cat and mouse with the geranium and of course the pimento. And it keeps the wearer very much entertained with this fragrance. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to get from Xeryus Rouge. It gets much drier and much woodier in here and much more masculine than that introduction. So definitely well done. Let's take a look at the base. Now the base is sweet and musky with a hint of woods. Not too much woods here. The sandalwood does play a part in here. It's smooth. The woods is very smooth. But that's basically it for Xeryus Rouge. Let's go to the overview. Alright guys, time for the overview on Xeryus Rouge by Givenchy. This fragrance, typical Monardo DNA. Well done, well put together, unique in a way. It's got a great balance of sweet and warming notes. It's masculine, it's exotic, slightly offbeat, kind of off the beaten path of most designers released today. If you smell this at a counter at Macy's or something, it will be different from all the other guys that are being sold. So what I usually recommend is if you really like a fragrance, you know, you love it, check out the name behind it, the Parfumier. Check out what else they have done, because probably you're going to like what they have. With Monardo, I know what I'm getting. I'm going to get quality. I'm going to get, first and foremost, it's well put together and well blended. This one is no stranger to the Monardo DNA. Well done. Now Xeryus Rouge is one of those strong synthetic numbers. What do I mean by that? Kind of think of Yop, that type of thing. It's going to tackle your nose and it's going to put it in a headlock. It's strong, beast mode, longevity, and projection. So definitely be very easy on the trigger, especially when you're first wearing it. If you think that you're not smelling it, trust me, I tested it out. I'm the one that got the looks and the glares when wearing too much of this stuff, so definitely easy on the sprayer. Now this fragrance, as far as sales go, this one, in some countries this thing's a top seller. It's got like a cult following in some countries. In other countries, kind of flopping, not selling as well. And this is one of those that, you know, it depends which country you're in. This one in Canada, it's rarely mentioned with sales associates. If you go to the Givenchy line and you're talking to a sales associate and you're like, yeah, you know what, I'm interested in a Givenchy fragrance, they're probably going to bring you to the Play, the Pie, Neo perhaps. All these guys probably in front of this guy. This one's forgotten. They do sell it, but you probably are going to have to seek it out for yourself. You're going to have to talk to the sales associate. Do you have any Xeryus Rouge? They might have it, they might not. Very much an underrated fragrance in some countries. But the people that do know about it will put it as their top 10 fragrance. I know a lot of people that just absolutely love this, and that's why it kind of has like a cult following to it. Now it seems at the time, back in 1995, this was a huge creative leap for Givenchy. They really, I give them props for trying out a fragrance like this. It was never really a selling beast in some countries, but still has a small loyal following to this day. This one has talks of it being reformulated. For me, I'm not a, you know, this is my first bottle of Xeryus Rouge. I remember smelling it back in the day when it had like a different bottle. I would say from what I've smelt, there's not much change from this fragrance. I remember smelling it. I didn't buy a bottle, so I don't really know. But I could be wrong. Online, I did some research. Some say there's a huge change, and others are saying it's the same stuff. Take it with a grain of salt. All I know is this is a new bottle, And this is actually the third bottle of Xeryus Rouge. They had one back in '95. It was a taller bottle. That's the original one. And then it had a bottle like this with a square top. And then it was this one. So with bottle changes, some people go crazy and think that there's a reformulation. So some people are saying the older juice had much stronger spice and a musky sandalwood ending. And this one had a much bigger melon note, this guy right here. It is what it is. I'm not really a huge follower of Xeryus Rouge, so I can't really tell you guys. Now, why would you hate this fragrance? First thing that comes to mind is the sweetness, the boldness of this fragrance. Synthetic, yes, obviously. If you wear too much, this thing is going to kill your nose. You might not actually like it after wearing too much of it. Trust me. Once I got those looks, I was like, okay, I might not be wearing this for a bit. It's bold, and it's sometimes some people say it's linear. Now, one word to describe this fragrance. Different. It is different. Bottles. This really reminds me of Hot Water by Davidoff. I know I'm probably the only one. I'm actually the only one online that actually said that, but I think it does remind me of that. I think it's like a grown-up version of it. Piment Brûlant by L'Artisan. If you really like that chili or that hot note, check out Piment Brûlant by Artisan. Best time to wear this fragrance. I liked wearing this. A lot of people say this is a nightclub clubbing scent. It's one of those that I would wear sparingly. I would wear it on night out, not necessarily just clubbing, but going out with the boys, going to play pool, going out to eat. Not something that I would wear all the time, to be honest with you. It's just too much of a beast. It's like Yopam. Sometimes I need my time away from it. Compliment factor. Now, high compliment factor. If you wear it well, high. It's one of those give or takes, though. It's you know, you got some good with some bad. If you wear too much, you're getting a lot of bad. Trust me, I got it. My wife hates this fragrance. She hates it. But I've had other people say good things about it. So it depends who you are. My 2 cents on Xeryus Rouge. The great thing about it, it's still in production. And I believe it's neglected by many. So you will actually stand out, especially in a country like Canada. This ain't no top seller back here. So definitely you are going to stand out. It has a great compliment factor if worn right, and it lasts quite a bit on your skin. It's got great longevity. It's got really good projection. So a lot of positives here. Personally, it deserves some praise. I agree. It deserves some praise. But online, some people are rating this as one of their top 10 fragrances of all time. For me, it's not that good, to be honest with you. I don't think this deserves a cult following. If I lost this bottle or sold it, I wouldn't terribly miss it. So I believe it's quality in its genre. It might be one of the best in the genre, perhaps. It should be checked out, but don't expect to be blown away with this fragrance, to be honest. It's a good fragrance, but not a solid 10 in my eyes. Buy, try, or pass. This is a definite try, guys. This is too bold and exotic and strange to really be a buy or a pass. Definitely try it out, sniff it out, see if it's your cup of tea. Let's get to the rating system. Guys, let's rate Xeryus Rouge. Projection longevity, this thing's beast mode. 9s across the board. Projection, sometimes it's rough, man. It hits your nose and everybody else's. Longevity, 6 to 10 hours. Beast mode again. It really never really pushed the envelope that it lasted all day, but a good solid 10 hours with this one. Versatility, 8 bottles out of 10. Not the most versatile, but I can see wearing this a little more than most. Overall smell, 8 bottles out of 10. Very good. A good compliment getter too. Seasons, fall, winter, and also spring and summer nights. This one was working really well for me. It's a sweet, spicy, woody combo with some edge to it. Not Medardo's best work, but solid. And this can get cloying and annoying real fast. Overall, I'm going to give this one 8 bottles out of 10.